allowing that to guide my decision making and helping me balance my relationships and just basic communication. I was communicating from my logic, which has supported me. It's been great, but it was cutting off the access to my heart. And I needed the help with how do I soften and yet stay really strong in my vulnerability and also be really clear in my communication. So those were the fears that were kind of swirling around from my logic that I needed to support me. It's been great, but it was cutting off the access to my heart. And I need oh, I mean, like echo.
yeah, we had an echo going on. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Me too. I was like, is that somebody else?
Well, and I would say, just for me, looking at you, you weren't really standing in your power, were you?
Like one foot in, the other foot out. I put a toe in power and I'd like, too much. So yeah, no, I wasn't with both feet firmly planted in my authority. I was kind of scared.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. So when we began working together, like we're in week 3, I think, of working together.
Mm-hmm.
How has the support been for you?
It's been very, very good, very nurturing, and also very spacious as well. Like you're not hovering over me and critiquing me and making sure things are being done all the time, almost like the guilty way of teaching. You're breaking that paradigm, which I'm not used to. And so to have the support that's almost from a distance, but that is very helped. Because it allows me to actually figure out my own steps in my process and then come back to you with more clarity because I had done the work rather than you just telling me the things I needed to hear. You give me the space to actually process and then to come back to you to then share. And that to me is the most supportive because you're not telling me what I need to hear or what you think I need to hear. It's you just hold the space and you let me figure it out.
Yeah, I would say you do that really well.
And the support's just been so great to be able to access you when I need. And then there's times where I want to reach out to you and then I realize maybe I should just take another few minutes to reflect. And then that usually shifts my decision. And then I reach out to you for our next session rather than just constantly texting you with what's going on. I savor that. I work with it. I reflect and then I come back to you.
That's beautiful. I love the way that you describe that because that's absolutely where I come from. Is in every class that I've taught, in everything that I've done, I believe that you need to understand what tools you possess in order to make those changes happen. So to be able to give you the foundation, right, and say, well, this is the perspective that's coming up, but then also give you the tools in order for you to make those changes. But then have that clarity and that what I call downtime to process, because it's not just on the intellectual level, as you know, and it's the energetics too behind it that are also important. So tell me a little bit about your business and what you do.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So I have a therapeutic yoga and sound studio in Carlsbad, California. And we specialize just in the therapeutic approach of approaching your yoga practice, your meditation, and using different techniques to create a safe space for people to journey within themselves and their hearts. And then coupled with that, I'm a co-founder of an integrative healing school where we certify our practitioners in the safety of essential oils, the safety of therapeutic sounds, Reiki, and just learning more of the intimate ways of ancient knowledge blended in with the Western perspectives.
That's amazing.
It is. It's really amazing. I love it because it allows me to work more in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But when I wanted your help for this work, a lot of my approach was coming from almost a lack of. And then since I started working with you, I'm realizing how much abundance is in every aspect, every layer of my life and my businesses. And to be able to gift this to myself, to work deeper as a teacher, as a guide, as a mentor, is the best gift I can give my community, because I'm being held accountable by you. You're making me show up in ways that have kind of slipped to the side.
Mm.
And so that's what I get to do for a living. I get to create a safe space for people to journey within their hearts and listen to really beautiful angelic sounds, to let the blessings flow through them, and to help people remember they're not alone. Ever.
I would say that's a beautiful description of it. And like, for example, because we talked a lot about the spiritual aspect of things, but we didn't talk about the business side of things, right?
Mm.
And that's, I think, a little known secret that people don't know about me. So I would love for you to enlighten them a little bit on that part of me, because I think it's freaking amazing.
Oh, and it's so amazing to have that coupled in with the spiritual work. It helps me ground my visions, because now I'm looking behind the beautiful facade and the experience and the emotions of it. Now I'm having to use my brain, and I'm using the financials, and I'm really getting clear on how I'm budgeting and how I'm actually using my resources that are best supporting my businesses. And before, I was making okay decisions, but not necessarily rooted with the business perspective and with the business and spiritual perspective blended, because I felt like I kept running into barriers, so to speak, resistance, running my business, but going by the books and the way I've been taught, courses, college, university, what I've been learning, and things just didn't seem to be working. Yes, they were working, but they weren't evolving. And I was ready for the next evolution of my business. So I needed to work with you to get really clear on my visions and my goals, but then how to practically get there. How to get there step by step, rather than having this grand idea and then kind of falling flat with it. You've showed me the steps and why it's important to approach them with the spiritual perspective, but also with the business, and the two of them coexist. You just have to figure out the way to work with the two. So that's what you've really been showing me, is how to actually balance the business and the logic side of running it.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I think for most intuitives, we get stuck in that bigger picture. And, a lot of people don't know that, I have several businesses that I run, and I'm fantastic at freaking numbers,
Yes.
and which is wild because most intuitives aren't. And I'm also a great, as far as contracts and employee issues and things like that, I'm able to see behind the scenes and see what's really kind of going on and what direction you need to go in. To me, that's invaluable. That's a huge asset.
I don't even know where else to find anything along those lines. And you've really helped me get clear on my team and the people that I get to work with. And you're asking me questions that are making me go deeper to see whom actually am I bringing in as a part of my staff, and who's resonating and who needs to carry on. And you've helped me realize how tightly I was holding on to the olds. Welcome.
Okay.
It comes in always.
Always for you. Always for you. Only for you.
Every time.
Every time. Only for you.
Thanks, 3.
He's the magical one.
He is.
Anyway, so with that being said, hang on 1 second. Babe, I love you. Give me 1 second. Okay, they're in the drawer. Okay, I'll get it in just a minute, okay? Thank you. It's always when you and I are together, he's always coming in. Always, I swear. He knows. He knows when 2 higher energetics are together. He's like, I want to be there.
I know, he does buzz a lot. It's really cute.
Yeah, exactly. So as far as, I think we talked about what transformations you've had, but what changed for you? I mean, I know there's a lot, so it's a lot to put in words because it's so much content. That's the thing I think that is hard for me to say is how much content you're getting. It's a ton.
And the days between sessions are so important to really process, because it's a lot of information to take in. And the changes I've noticed are I'm actually approaching when I'm going into my job with an open heart. I'm much more present and not as triggered by the little things like a clogged toilet in the middle of a very busy day. I'm not as emotional and frustrated and looking at it as such a hiccup to accomplish. It's, wow, what an opportunity to look a little deeper, and how is that reflecting what's going on with me? Am I actually showing up, or am I kind of just halfly like stepping in and stepping out? And so for me, one of the biggest takeaways is just really being clear in my authority and working with my heart as that authority instead of my mind. So that's been my biggest, I would say, transformation, is that I can actually lead with my heart. It doesn't have to be so demanding and harsh. It can actually be really soft and very loving and firm, all in one.
Yeah, you can be both and be strong and powerful and still intuitive and use your, skills to grow your, what you want to create. And I think for me, looking at where you were, I think one of the biggest things for me was that you had that, like we talked about, that bigger picture, but you were almost like intimidated by it a little bit, I would say, and also very confused about how to get there. Like, is that even possible?
Oh yeah, I was asking a lot of questions, a lot. Like, I really cared about the how. I mean, I think every session I've been asking you how, and you always remind me it's not about the how.
Yeah.
Like, trust, let it all fall into pieces. You don't have to know every step of the way, but I get fixated on knowing the hows and the whys and what ifs. So I've been really afraid of stepping into my visions. I've been afraid of really leading and being of service in a very compassionate way. It's very intimidating. And then working with you, just even like in a short amount, a few weeks, I feel like I'm much more capable of just being with all the visions, to the grand, to the very, very tiny little day-to-day task.
Absolutely. It doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. To me, when I look at you, you don't seem so overwhelmed.
Oh yeah. When we first started, I really didn't know I was calling you. I knew it, but I didn't know, but my heart was literally guiding the way to work with you. And I didn't come in with expectations either. And I think that's what's really helped me, is that I just came into this open to see what evolves, and not, here's my goal, this needs to be met, and if it doesn't get met, then this is all just a waste of time. I didn't have that mindset at all. I ended up just kind of leaving it open and trusting that each day, each week, I'm learning the lessons I need to that are helping me evolve on my path, but I'm not here to set a marker to judge and to turn around and to see my growth. I'm just growing, and I'm acknowledging that, and I don't need an expectation or a giant goal to actually prove that this works. I just trust it, and I'm watching all the beauty unfold. And
you've had some amazing things happen already.
Really, really, and I feel like my students are feeling it. It's just naturally evolving in my community. And even when I walk into my studio, it just seems brighter. It just seems more peaceful. And it just, the energetics of the foundation of the building just feel better. I wasn't expecting that. Like, I didn't know that was going to happen. That wasn't in fine print.
No, we didn't put that in there. No.
So, and that's the thing, is so much of this, it depends on it's so intimate and it's so individualized. Like, it's hard to tell somebody what they're going to go through, because how do we really know until we just start doing the work, and we have to just witness all the unfolding. And it's really hard to put this work into words.
Totally. I would agree, because I think that's one of the things that I think most people don't get when I'm saying something. I'm like, it's so much more. There's so much more. I could probably write 5 books on how much more you get. It is not going to cover it. But what would you say to someone who felt like they needed to reach out to me and is sort of questioning why they should?
It's a great question. I had a moment in the beginning that I doubted it because my fears were coming through that I wasn't actually worthy of taking this time to work with you, because I almost felt like, maybe you can do that next month. Like maybe this isn't the time. And I felt a lot of resistance. And then I realized, oh, I'm thinking too much. So when I got into a meditation, I dropped into my heart was like an instant yes, like beating out of my body. And my suggestion would be really get clear and listen to your heart and listen and feel, because you'll know what's right for you. And again, so much of this is beyond the word. It is the energetics, and trust that if your path is being called to work with Janelle, it's your time to work with Janelle. There's a reason why you're being drawn to this. And coming from somebody who questions everything all the time, it only is stealing precious moments from you. So just trust that this is in your highest best, because I'm here 3 weeks in, a completely different being, much more vibrant, less scared of the world, able to actually approach the world with an open heart rather than a shield.
But I can really feel you in that moment. So I appreciate you sharing that space with everyone and and being vulnerable to that. Totally. I think that is one of the things for me that in making decisions, I wish more people would ask their heart, ask their soul, first, instead of going to the logical thing, because the logic is what stops you every time from having the things that you actually want and desire.
And that's what I really learned with you is, wow, I didn't realize I was even caught up in my head for 4 hours. That was 4 hours of my day that I just kind of stole from myself. And instead of just being with everything, I was just trying to manipulate it and make excuses and get in my own way and sabotage my visions, my plans. And you've really shown me how much I do that. And the beauty in it, like it's served a purpose. It's gotten me to where I am here. So I thank those parts of myself, and I'm also ready to evolve those parts of myself. So then I can move forward and evolve just to evolve and to create and to be a human rather than evolve to survive or to like make a business grow. It just seemed tiresome. And so for you to help me realize how much time I steal from myself was one of the biggest gifts that I could have, because now I can catch it a lot quicker. I don't get caught on the trail for hours and hours and days. I actually can witness it, and in that moment, no longer feed it, and then go into the next layer and the deeper layers. Feel safe in there, because my vulnerability is really powerful. And I'm really scared of that, because, what's really going to come out of there?
Yeah, there's a lot of skeletons in there, right? Or that's what we're told, right? I think, so how does everybody find you, by the way?
Oh, you can find
great
me.
Work.
You can go to yogaboundforlife.com. That's my studio in Carlsbad. And my school is Tranquility School of Integrative Healing. And then you can find both of those websites or Instagram accounts and kind of get some behind the scenes scoop and learn a little bit more about me and what I do and my teachers.
Yeah, and let me ask you too, because you also do something else that's really remarkable too, don't you?
Oh yeah, what's
Besides the yoga studios?
Oh, my sound work?
Yes.
Yes, so I specialize in therapeutic sound. So I do one-on-one sessions of activating your voice, so vocal awakening, accompanied with different types of alchemy crystal singing bowls, some chimes, some drumming. So it's a blend of celestial, very angelic sound, but very earthy, shamanic. And it's a really lovely way of taking care of your spirit, your physical body, your brain, and your heart. It's an overall incredible experience. It's kind of like a massage for your body and your brain, but not having to really, it's not invasive. So the sounds surround you. It's not forcing you to go deeper. It's an invitation for you to drop in and just to experience the expansiveness of sound.
That's a beautiful description.
And it makes me so happy to wake up every day, and I start my weekends at 8 a.m. and I work with my students, and we just get to breathe, we meditate, and we listen to sound. It's amazing.
What's better than that?
I know, not much.
Right?
If I was like covered in roses and jasmine, that would probably make it better.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So we talked about the one, the little parts about the business side of me, like the numbers side, but I think also too, a lot of people don't understand how many times I crack jokes and how sometimes there's just weird, not so serious moments with me that I don't think necessarily come across when I'm writing things, Yeah. So we have some fun too.
We have a lot of fun. And that's, I remember when you told me just to finally let it out, because I was being really reserved and I didn't want to drop an F-bomb, and you were like, let it out. And I was like, okay. And it all came out, and it was just this level of safety, because as a lady, I didn't want to use those words. I'm in a spiritual mentorship and learning how to run a business. Why would I be dropping F-bombs? Well, in that moment, I was triggered, and I really needed someone just to hold the space to let me just verbally get it out. And we went into like deep hysterics after that. Like you just didn't sit there and be quiet and let me just like curse like a sailor. Like you were engaging. You made it playful because you didn't make it wrong. You made it wrong. Yeah. You made it okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do laugh a lot, and it is serious. But then on the other end of it, if we don't have the joy and the laughter, it almost becomes too stuck in this world. Like you have to play, and you have to be able to view yourself and your changes and your challenges and your fears with a lightheartedness, because otherwise you're going to get too sucked into your own identity.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree. So is there anything else that you think that intuitively that is coming up for you that someone should know about working with me?
If you're feeling that itch, that pulse, reach out. It's worth it. There's something inside of you that is recognizing that greatness, that is calling out for the support. And as a teacher and as a guide, I've been doing this work for a couple years now. I need someone to still hold me accountable and to still love me as I'm processing. So no matter where you are in your journey, if this is brand new to you or you've been doing this a very long time, I would recommend finding the support, because it's only going to help you evolve for the greater good for yourself, but most importantly, for everybody. So this work truly is helping liberate the world. So if you're feeling the call, do it. Don't hesitate. And if the financials are getting in the way, breathe and just feel into it and know that you're supported with abundance, and it's all coming right back to you. But if you keep getting stuck in the reasons why you can't do it, where else is that showing up in your life? And what would it be like if you said yes? How much more magical would that be?
Yeah, that's the fun part.
It is so much fun. And yes, it gets serious, then it gets emotional, and then it gets really joyous, and then it gets kind of confusing. And then it comes back to laughter and play and not being so serious. Because then you just get to see like, oh, you're just this incredible being on this journey, and we're just all walking each other home. So I would recommend working with Janelle, because it's been incredible for me.
Thank you so much. And if you're curious about how to work with me and how to do that and how to go about it, go book an appointment. We'll have a chat, and we'll get down and dirty, as I say.
Down and dirty for sure.
Yeah, and I don't hold back either. That's, I think, one of the things Alexandra's learned about me is I don't hold back. I say it as it is. So much love on this fantastic Friday. I'm so blessed to have you with me in this journey, Alexandra, and I can't wait to see what else we come up with for you and what you decide you want to do. You're an amazing being, and I'm so grateful and honored to work with you and serve you. I hope you all have a blessed day and a blessed weekend, I should say, and enjoy your time. And if you want to know more about Alexandra, find her, go to her yoga studio, go to her sound teachings, her immersions. They are just beautiful. She's a beautiful spirit. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.